Hello again, friends, and welcome into another edition of Wrestling with Rusty for February 27th, 2024. Welcome in. I'm several hours late with this report because my personal life got in the way and I got some doctor's appointments tomorrow. So please say a prayer for me. For those of you that are seeing this live or on record, please say a prayer that all will go right medically. But I'm coming to you tonight, late as it is, with a report that Ole Anderson, original member of the Four Horsemen, Ole Anderson has passed away. A lot of people didn't know this, but Ole had multiple sclerosis for a number of years, MS. So I'm sure that contributed to his death. He died at home and was at the age of 81. Ole was a true pro wrestling legend, first starting out training with people like Verne Gagne of the AWA and Eddie Sharkey, who worked with Verne Gagne a little bit in the AWA at the time in the 70s or 60s. And Ole and Lars and Gene became the Anderson brothers, I believe, in the AWA. Lars eventually went his separate ways after coming to the Carolinas for Jim Crockett Promotions. And then Ole and Gene became the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, Ole and Gene Anderson, and won the NWA World Tag Team Championships on many occasions, and were just one smooth tag team. I remember sitting in my hometown of Charlotte, North Carolina back in the day. I live in Pittsburgh now, but I was in Charlotte at the time, and watching Ole and Gene Anderson versus Wahoo McDaniel and Paul Jones, and Ole and Gene Anderson versus Ric Flair and Greg Valentine in a two-heel team tag team match. Heel being bad guys at the time. And for the 70s, two bad guy teams didn't wrestle one another. I remember seeing Ole against Wahoo McDaniel in a singles match. I remember seeing Ole and Arn Anderson against Wahoo McDaniel and Billy Jack Haynes in Starrcade 85, and on and on and on. But what I will remember mostly about Ole Anderson was a lot of people in the wrestling business called Ole a son of a bitch, a motherfucker, and everything else. But Rusty Loudermilk will never call Ole Anderson a son of a bitch or a motherfucker, because the one time I met Ole Anderson and had a chance to sit down with him one-on-one, he was very nice to me, very honest. His girlfriend, Marcia, I'm assuming they were still together at the time of his death. I do not know that, but I think they were. Was very nice. We were at the Tryon House restaurant on South Tryon Street in Charlotte, North Carolina. And Ole was very nice. He sat at our table and talked before a Q&A session at the Charlotte restaurant there. Ole was very nice. Alexa, stop. And talked about the wrestling business and various other things. And I will never forget the time that I had a chance to sit down for like an hour and a half and talk to Ole Anderson before anybody else got there. So, very, very nice man to me personally. The wrestling business has lost a true legend. Yes, he at times was a grumpy old bastard. And yes, he's the one that told Vince McMahon to go fuck himself, which probably cost him a chance to work in the WWF. But one thing you knew about Ole was, when you knew him the way I knew him and many other people knew him, if he liked you, he liked you. If he didn't like you, then you could kiss his ass. You always knew where you stood with Ole, good, bad, or indifferent. And but as a pro wrestler, Ole was a legend. As a person outside of the ring, I think Ole will go down as a guy that had a bad reputation. But as far as inside the ring goes, there was nobody better than Ole Anderson, either in a tag team or as a singles. I remember watching Georgia Championship Wrestling in the late 70s, early 80s. It was Ole Anderson and Ivan Koloff were the Georgia Tag Team Champions. And I could go on and on and on and on and on. But rest in peace, Ole Anderson, real name, Alan Rogowski, an original member of the Four Horsemen. Gone, but never forgotten. And every time we lose one of these wrestlers, whether I knew them personally or not, it takes away a piece not only of my childhood, but it takes away a piece of my heart. I know everybody's got to die, and we can't live forever. And wrestlers die, in most cases, sooner than the rest of the world. But that damn sure doesn't make it easy. That's going to do it for me. One thing before I close. Please remember to like the videos on this channel. Subscribe to the channel if you hadn't done so already. I need all the help I can get. Raymond from Johnson City, Tennessee, thank you for your support. And a new subscriber to the channel, Eric from Philadelphia. Thank you for your support. And you said you were going to tell your family to subscribe. So I'd like to welcome Eric's family if they subscribed. And if they didn't subscribe, subscribe. And if anybody else hasn't subscribed, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you a dime. Please remember my friend, the late Don Kernodle, who passed away of suicide in May of 2021. Please remember my friend, the late Ivan Koloff, the Russian bear, who passed away in 2017. And please remember my friend, the late Abe Jacobs, who passed away at the age of 95 in 2023. That's going to do it for me. Rusty, I'm out of here. We'll see you next time. Ole Anderson, rest in peace. Sharon and the rest of the Rogalski family, we're thinking about you. Rest in peace. Four Horsemen member Ole Anderson, gone, but never forgotten to any true old school wrestling fan like myself and many others. Rest in peace, Ole Anderson. Take care, everybody. Thank you very much. And as the voice of Ring of Honor, Ian Riccaboni would say, happy wrestling, everybody. Thank you, Ole.